Speaking to African journalists, President Zelensky called on the United Nations and Turkey to take the steps necessary to continue the grain export agreement.
Тут потрібно, щоб
We want our partners, the United Nations and Turkey, not to be afraid of doing everything possible so that even without the Russian Federation, we can use the Black Sea corridor. We are not afraid. Shipping companies approached us and said that they are ready to continue delivering grain if Ukraine lets the ships leave the ports and Turkey lets them go through the Bosphorus Strait. Zelensky was speaking during a joint press conference with Ireland's Prime Minister Leo Varadkar during his visit to Kiev.
Perhaps Russia believes that it can break the resolve of the Ukrainian people, but I know from the way you've fought for the past few years and from my visit here that it cannot. My visit to the sites of these atrocities this morning and my meeting here in Kiev has confirmed to me that Russia will not succeed, and Russia cannot be allowed to succeed.
Meanwhile, Russia launched an extensive air attack on the Ukrainian city of Odesa earlier today for the second night in a row, an assault dubbed by the authorities as a hellish onslaught, meant to destroy the possibility of shipping Ukrainian grain from its ports. The military said the strike hit a grain and oil terminal and damaged tanks and equipment for loading. The attack started a fire at the port and at a commercial warehouse on the outskirts of Odessa. Local emergency services published footage showing damage at a warehouse on the 7th kilometre commercial market on Odessa's outskirts. Reuters was able to confirm the location is Odessa from the position of the buildings and grass and the colour of the roofs seen in the video, which matched satellite imagery of the area. Ukraine's infrastructure ministry published still images showing a grain loader and a silo on fire. Ukraine's Southern Military Command said Russia struck Odessa's port infrastructure. Many high-rise residential buildings in Odessa were also damaged in the attack, and with many shattered windows, residents were sweeping away glass shards in the backyards. Luckily, I was not sleeping. I live on the first floor. I saw a red flash in the window and reacted immediately. The moment I fell on the floor behind the bed, all the windows were blown out. I went downstairs. It was noisy and filled with smoke outside. People were in a panic. Some were crying. Glass shards were scattered all over. It was impossible to remain in the area. There were people in the basement, but it was smoky there. In the nearby residential building, there was at least some fresh air. Then people calmed down. I went back home to cook pancakes. I walked over glass shards in my apartment. I turned on the music. There's no reason to cry. Life goes on. The bed is right by the window. When I walked into the bedroom to see what had happened, I saw glass shards over the pillows and mattresses. There were cuts. The attacks on Odessa, one of Ukraine's main ports for exporting grain, followed a pledge of retaliation by Russia after a blast on the bridge linking Russia to the Crimean Peninsula on Monday that Moscow blamed on Ukraine. There was no immediate comment from Russia.